Good morning. Welcome to the Saturday Spectacular. I am Gillian St. Kevin, the author of Empowering Queer Fantasy That Confounds Expectations. With me right now, I have Murphy, an extremely fluffy German Shepherd. And on my other side, Lenny, a very gorgeous and sleek Huntaway. So, as you can see, I am definitely in a happy place this morning. I just have to put it out there that these guys are extremely reactive. At some point, actually, okay, we'll be real. At multiple points during the stream, one of the neighbors is going to emerge from their house, at which point these guys will go absolutely nuts. And yeah, I may have to mute myself. Let me know in the chat if they become too distracting. But for now, they are chill, and I am really enjoying their company. Yep. I've set myself up on a coffee table just because I love hanging out with these guys so much. But yeah, what else do I need to tell you? I am usually joined by my good friend and fellow author, Jamie Sands. Unfortunately, although Jamie has safely returned from their trip to Rarotonga, they brought back a bug, so they are really not well this morning. It's really I just feel really bad because Jamie has had a really hard time with health. I was going to say this past year, may even be longer than that. And they're finally feeling a bit better. They're seeing some improvement in their long COVID symptoms. They go to Rarotonga with their partner. They both have an absolutely amazing time. And I was thinking, yeah, you know what? Today, Jamie's probably going to be really tired from all of the flights and that kind of. I don't think there's a huge difference in time between New Zealand and Rarotonga, but there's kind of like not jet lag, but after coming home from a holiday, there's a kind of like a reality lag, back to the ordinary lag. And I thought, that's probably going to hit hard. Instead, we have an actual bug, which is even so much worse. But yeah, I have been doing quite a bit of planning this week. And, oh, hello.
Morning.
Hi, Amy. Good morning, Amy. It is really awesome to see you so early in the morning.
It is fantastic to be here.
Yay.
How are we doing?
Pretty good. I just introduced these guys to the stream, but I will introduce them again to you. We've got Murphy on my left. He is an extremely fluffy German Shepherd. Just look at this fluff.
Oh my goodness. It's like my cat.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know you could get fluffy German Shepherds before I met Murphy. And over here, we've got Lenny, who is an extremely sleek Huntaway.
Nice.
Yeah. So I have set myself up on the coffee table in front of the sofa, which means I have no back support, and I may end up sitting at the floor at some point, but it was worth it to be closer to these guys.
Fair enough. I was just driving my daughter to horse riding, and even in weather like this, that's how much she loves it. And I had a seat warmer in the car, so I was slightly sore back from probably just from the gym, and I had turned on the seat warmer, and it was like this perfect like lower lumbar support and hot. I was like, this is perfect.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I don't have that at my desk, but it's probably a good thing. I would like cook my butt. But yeah. It did feel very nice.
Okay. So usually on a Saturday, we kind of share our win for the week. And I don't know if I have any wins. Okay, I do. So this week I've been doing the tutoring sessions for the tutoring company for I think maybe 4 weeks now. And I'd say maybe 2/3 of my sessions get cancelled before they take place. So it has been really quite demotivating. So on Monday, I had 1 session scheduled that got cancelled. Tuesday, I had 2 sessions cancelled. I had 2
Did you get
sessions scheduled.
paid?
It depends on if how close to the session the student cancels, but I got paid for all 3 of those, so silver lining. Wednesday, I had 2 sessions, scheduled, and I was like, "They're not gonna show up." And they did, and I had 2 really good lessons.
Nice.
And
That's
so
good.
on Thursday, I had 2 sessions scheduled, and I was like, "There's no way. There's no way they're gonna show up." I mean, I have filled my quota of, like, people actually showing up for the week. The Thursday students also showed up,
Excellent.
and yeah, so I am feeling really really excited actually to be back into doing some teaching. I'd forgotten that I actually quite enjoy it. Oh, hang on. Lenny is on alert. I don't know if because I'm like, it's your voice, Amy. He's like, where is the person? Or he's just,
Hi, Lenny. It's me. I'm not really there.
yeah. Lenny and Murphy, they're both very fierce guard dogs. So the moment that any of the neighbours step outside, we will know about it. So I may have to mute myself when that happens. Oh, excellent. Wicket has shared a win. My win, almost done designing my new Exploring Health Careers course for my high school students. I made great progress. That sounds awesome.
Cool. It's
We
very
did
cool.
We did not have anything like that. I remember at high school, we did a survey that then got printed out on like dot matrix paper. So it was, the printed paper that you had to tear the
Old school.
and then so we got a printout with our top 3 career options. And then we had like maybe a 15-minute appointment with a career counselor to talk about them. And my top choice of career was pastor, and I was still quite really actively religious at that point, and I was so offended by that. It's like, no way! How could this be so wrong? And the counselor's like, could you think about it even a bit? And I'm like, no, I am a writer.
Oh my gosh.
So that was 15 minutes of me. I wasn't like assertive. I was not assertive at all. So that was 15 minutes of me internally seething while the counselor probably like really struggled to get any response out of me. But
Sure.
that was it. 15 minutes.
Far out. We do a lot more career stuff now at school, yeah. Some of it I'm like, oh yeah, that's useful. And other things I'm like, how is that a careers thing? You played paintball. Like they get credits for that. But yeah, they definitely do more career stuff. We actually had the Air Force land a helicopter in our school field to do a like armed forces careers the thing. And the pilot of the helicopter was an ex-student from the school. So he got to fly into his old school and land on the field. It was pretty epic. I'm not sure how I feel about them encouraging teenagers to join the military, but it was an impressive moment.
I am really impressed that Lenny, he has changed his seating position to be entirely on top of the chair.
Where he's got a better view.
Yes. Funny story about the Kashmir school field. I don't know if I've got a feeling I've probably told this to you multiple times, Amy.
I don't know.
But the Kashmir High School fields used to be where my great-great-grandmother kept her dairy cows.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
So
fantastic.
she lived up on there's this one road, so like there's the main road that goes up the Dyers Hill Pass with, you know, you go down Kashmir, you hit the roundabout and you go up.
Yeah.
But there's another road, if you go towards Princess Margaret and then turn up, it's close to the Girls Cafe.
Yeah, that one.
She lived there, her house is still there.
Nice.
And she had a bit of a market garden and the dairy cows.
It is called Hackthorne Road.
That's it, Hackthorne.
I always forget the name of that road. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. It's okay. The neighbours are allowed to exist. So Wicket has shared a loss, discovering that they're quinoa intolerant.
Oh no, that's annoying. My sister can't have quinoa either.
It's okay. It's okay.
Which I think is one of those things that's fairly easy to avoid. Well, I hope so, for your sake.
Yeah, it's okay, guys. The neighbours exist. They live here. You should.
You should be used to them by now.
Yeah, I should be the one freaking out. It's okay. It really is. Come on, Murphy.
Trying to think if I had a win this week.
Okay.
It felt frantic. But I think the win is probably the thing that is stressing me out the most. Next week, we kick off a inter-school poetry slam in Christchurch. And this has been in the pipeline for like a year that I've been involved. And it all came together this week, and it's happening. Well, the slam is not happening next week. We're having a kick-off event, which is a showcase of poets and bringing all the students along to sort of see what we can do. And I have to perform at that, and I feel like a complete fraud because most of what I write is romance novels, not poetry. But it is actually, coming together. We've got people coming down from Auckland where they have an epic inter-school poetry slam that's been running for years called Word the Front Line. Which if you look it up on YouTube, you can see all the poets doing their thing. And it's just incredible. Young, teenagers sort of telling stories and putting together very powerful pieces of language. And so we have a workshop on Wednesday as well. And then in the evening, the showcase. And that's all in the last week of term when we're all completely exhausted. But I guess the fact that it's happening at all is a win. That's stressing me out.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, I can see how it would be freak.
Yeah.
Murphy is bringing me his ball, but also not letting me have. Oh, okay. So let's dive into our warm up.
Oh, I need to go get my journal from my bedroom. I'll be right back. You go ahead and start. I'll figure it out.
I've got a dog with a ball. Okay. I will grab my tarot cards and sort of introduce the warm-up. So, Wicket, you will have seen this before, but for anyone who is joining us for the first time, we kick off with a 5-minute warm-up, the purpose of which is to get our brains out of everyday mode into creative mode. And we do this by drawing a tarot card and using that's a gorgeous book. So beautiful.
The decomposition book.
Yes.
because it's 100% post-consumer waste recycled pages.
I have a friend who also has a decomposition book, and actually who has several of them, and I lusted after them so much that eventually I went to Scorpio and got my own.
But they're don't you do the little dotty books? Sorry,
I found a dotty one. Like that was what was holding me back from getting the decomposition books for so long, that they didn't have the dot grid. Finally, I found a dot grid one.
Nice.
Yep.
I'm old school. Lines. Well, it's not even old school. It's just cultural, isn't it? In France, it's all dots.
Okay, so card creative journaling can be anything you need it to be. Because I do most of my writing as typing on a computer, I grab pen and paper for this. Amy has got a very cool looking pen.
Right, it's the most basic Papermate Inkjoy. I probably nicked it from work.
Oh,
it is a ballpoint basic pen.
Way for the redistribution of resources. So,
well, if I didn't steal it from work, I could have.
Yeah, it's just yes. Okay, so our card is the Hanged Man, which in the World Unknown is depicted by a bat, a fruit bat, I'm assuming, because it has the really bright red eyes, hanging upside down. So the Hanged Man is kind of represents a period of potentially forced stillness, being removed from a situation, but also looking at things from a completely different perspective. This could be an opportunity to reevaluate your creative work in a different way, to re-examine some aspect of your life, or maybe even ask yourself to pause and look at what's everything that's going on. I am just grabbing my phone to set up a timer, and I managed to avoid clicking the calculator, so well done me. Okay, I'll just grab the ticker and then we can dive in for 5 minutes, starting now. Okay, that is the end of our 5-minute warm-up. I have been abandoned by Murphy, and Lenny is still perched on the chair, protecting me from the neighbours. But I got a full column there of thoughts.
Nice. What was your thoughts on that prompt? Anything?
Well, I have been doing a lot of planning this past week. So I follow the HB90 sort of quarterly planning system, which means that I need to reset and come up with my goals and look at my available time for quarter 3. But I also had the final session of a digital marketing course yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
This is run by Attraction Studios, any Christchurch-based people. They are so good. If you ever have a chance to attend a webinar or anything by them, do it. They are that good. I've done tons of marketing stuff before. You'll be in the same boat, Amy, with through romance writers and similar organizations. We get a lot of opportunities to learn about how to market our work.
And yet I still suck at it.
This was the most in-depth approach that I've ever seen. I was kind of skeptical at the start. I was like, well, are they really going to teach me much I don't already know? My expectations were completely exceeded. And I feel like I've got a much greater depth of understanding of the things that we talked about. But yesterday, our final session was devoted entirely to us putting together a 12-month marketing strategy. And they warned us that we were not going to finish everything in the time we had available, and that we should continue to work on this over the coming weeks. But I feel like I made a really good start. And I realized something, which was to kind of hit my goal of a full-time writing income, I need to sell 850 books a month. 850 is not a lot of people. For some reason, that seems like a really possible amount.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I had a holy heck, I could actually do this type of moment. And so I've been feeling much more positive towards I've been a bit braver with the kind of goals I've been setting myself. And another thing I realized was the last two books I published, Hearts Lost was for a genre that I don't normally write for and that I'm not well suited for. So it did not get it sold well, but the reviews were not great. It's probably, I think it's at 3.15 at Goodreads, which is the lowest kind of rating for any of my books. And although I shouldn't have, I took that personally. And my release previous to that did not do as well as I had hoped. So I think I have actually been holding on to a lot of fear about publishing again. And having kind of come to those realizations, I was like, okay, how can I, with this knowledge, how can I change how I approach my planning? What can I do? And the other thing was, I have had a whole load of people since publishing Hearts Lost. The main character, the way his brain works is based on how my brain works, but exaggerated. And because we all put a bit of our characters, ourselves into our characters, right?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry for the long-winded explanation. But I got a review that was like, excellent portrayal of autism. And I'm like, oh, what?
Like random reviewers diagnosing me.
Yeah. So I went to I talked to my mum about it, and she was like, oh yeah, me and your stepdad totally think that you're somewhere on the spectrum. In fact, another one of our mutual friends asked me if you were, and I was like, okay, so I have like people in my life who know me in reality think this, and a random person on the internet also telling me this. And then I have another friend who has a son who has ASD, and she was also like, the way you think and the way that my son thinks, extremely similar. So I approached a doctor, and he was like, no, totally not. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then yesterday I hung out with a new friend from the course who is neurodivergent, and she was like, everything you have told me about yourself, everything I know about you makes me think that you are definitely on the spectrum. So I'm like, okay, maybe I don't have the official diagnosis, but it's clear that I have enough of this that the tools that help neurodivergent people may be useful to me. So I'm going to try and apply these into future goal planning and stuff like that.
Nice. That sounds like a very positive, proactive approach. Often,
yeah,
I would have thought diagnoses were getting easier to get, but I do know for a lot of those, like the diagnostic material that doctors have is very much based on like straight white men and how they present with any given thing. So I don't know.
Also, I have a country doctor, and so I'm pretty sure that I am very unlike most of his other patients. So yeah, I am. I was like, I do not agree with like his very prompt instant dismissal, but I also don't want to fight.
Feeling like you're not being listened to by a doctor, though. I hate that feeling.
Yeah. And
it's like to go to see them about other things too, right? Yeah, they expect them, like little boys, right? If you had an obsession with trains and a penis,
my
you've got a diagnosis.
My younger brother had an obsession with trains and has ADHD, so
I mean, those two things do go hand in hand in a lot of students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you get on with your morning pages, Amy?
I didn't really do my morning pages this morning. My daughter brings me a cup of coffee at 7:30 when she wants me to drive her to horse riding. And then I kind of mooch to the point where I can see myself getting into the car. So I didn't do anything this morning. But I've written some.
Awesome.
And I remembered partway through that my crumpets were in the toaster going cold.
Oh my gosh, crumpets.
Now I've eaten them. I'm feeling much better. What was I thinking about? The forced stillness for the weekend when it's raining, especially. And so Saturday sport is cancelled.
Oh, exciting. Isn't it great when things get cancelled?
I love it. Elena still goes riding though. Like I still have to, but I just drop her off and then she stays there all day. So the holidays are coming. We've got one more week of school and then there'll be this forced distance from school, which I am so desperate for. Feeling quite close to burnt out at the moment. So that'll be good. And with my writing, I'm moving from, I've been editing on my Kobo, which I can like handwrite on my, I'll show you. So I have the PDF loaded onto my Kobo and I can handwrite onto it using the pen. Why is it not waking up? Oh, it's at the end of the book.
That sounds incredible.
Like that, I can sort of handwrite my edits onto the page. So I just need to transition from that and start writing into the working document on my computer today, which is a shift in modes, which always means you notice different things, right?
You have just reminded me, I have a piece of mine that I've gotten back from an editor, and I'm currently house sitting very close to Eastgate, who have a warehouse stationery. I can print it off, bind it, and then...
Nice.
Yeah.
This is, I guess, my attempt to avoid printing.
Yeah.
But what I was finding was I was doing this process on my Kindle, which there's a new version of the Kindle that can do what this device does. But my old Kindle can't, and you just have to, like, when you like want to put an edit in, you have to like select the word and then type it in on like a little screen keyboard, and it's super glitchy, and just takes so long. And then when you're done and you've got all these notes, the notes are separate from the text in the Kindle, so you can go through the notes and look at them one by one and search up that section, and it's just a painful process. So I am very happy to be doing it in a different way. That this is new, so it's the first time I have been able to do it this way. It's been a lot quicker, or it was a lot quicker at the start. It slowed down very recently because middle of term 2 is always just an absolute monster of a time and teaching, but holidays are coming.
Yay. I realized we skipped over Wicket's comment here. I contemplated how changes in my life are similar to punctuated equilibrium in biology, large change in rapid bursts. I wondered how much more fruit there would be if I spent more time thinking. I love that. I really, really like that.
For me, writing is thinking on the page. Like, not writing my book, but writing my journal. Like, I do sometimes think in my head, but if I kind of want to make progress in thinking and not just kind of, circle around the same obsessive and unhelpful, oh shoot, did I really say that out loud 3 weeks ago? 3 years ago.
3 decades ago.
Yeah. Helpful thinking, like progress thinking, reflection. It can be reflection. It doesn't have to be thinking about the future. It can be thinking about the past, but it's sort of in a helpful way, in a way that doesn't get stuck. I find writing is just thinking externally to my body. I mean, externally to my head, right? Like to my body. For me, but I am an external processor. Not 100%, but mostly. And then there are some people who are very much internal processors. I'm married to someone like that who thinks about it in his head and then says it. And I'm like, we haven't had a conversation about that, but you seem to have come to a conclusion, which is often fine because it's one less thing for me to do. But yeah.
I do the thinking on paper, but I also do the thinking, processing internally, and then delivering like the end of the conversation.
I do think I jump quite quick when I'm in conversation with other people. I make connections very quickly. But yeah.
I would love to continue this conversation, but it is 38 minutes and we haven't started a writing sprint yet. So
it's good. Cool. Well, I should open up the document that I'm going to be working in for the first time in like 2 months, because I have been working on a different thing entirely. Well, the same project, different form, different mode.
So I'm going to be working through my planning. Here we go. I'm looking for what are you doing to me? Sorry, Melon, our Streamlabs, sorry, it's changed its name, was not cooperating. Now we've got the 20-minute sprint in progress sign up. Let's
Nice.
dive straight in. 20 minutes starting now. Okay, unmuting myself. That is the end of our first 20-minute sprint. The dogs have started play wrestling, which involves lots of snarling, growling, and barking. So apologies for that. I will mute myself as soon as we start the next.
That's right. Feels like we've got a whole party online. How are you doing? Did you get much done?
I feel like I didn't get as much done as I wanted to because of this. Come on, guys. Play nicely. Okay, you are
they playing with each other?
Quietly.
They're playing with each other.
I finished planning for today and started my review of the week that's just been.
Nice. I'm 10 pages in to my 12 actually, to making little edits or little stuff. But I did Control F and do all of the I called grandma at the start, and then I changed it to gran. So I had to go back through and change all the grandmas to gran. So I did that, and then I'm just
Control
going.
F is so fantastic.
I know. It's one of the very useful things I teach my students. That and like Control Z. Like when you like move a picture in Word and then everything rearranges and you're like, ah, Control Z. Okay.
Yeah. Let's hop into our second sprint. Another 20 minutes starting now. Okay, that was an extremely eventful 20-minute sprint over here. The dogs spent almost the entire sprint wrestling with each other, and they have only just now calmed down. Lenny is on his perch on the chair, and I think Murphy is sleeping on the spare bed.
Oh, sleeping. That sounds like they'll let you get some work done now that you focus.
I hope so. But I actually got quite a bit done. I
Nice.
finished my review of this week, but if you plan in a quarterly way, this is week 13 of the quarter, which is the final week. And I like to use week 13 to get a sneaky head start on the next quarter.
So you can start well.
Exactly. I'm usually I've either made a lot of progress towards the Q2 goals, or I'm absolutely sick of them and they no longer feel relevant to me. So I'm always like, I want to ride this new, the excitement that comes at the start of something new. I want to capitalize on that as much as I can.
I'm a big believer in momentum. Like when
Yeah,
something is happening, like daily practice or anything like that, even if it's not daily, but like it's so much easier to move when you're already moving.
exactly. So I have jumped ahead into my HB90 planning. I'm on day 4, which is goal setting, and I'm also going to try. I actually might just blitz through the rest of the days and just try and finish it all today, so that next week I can get started on my Q3 goals, basically.
Nice.
How about you? How many pages?
15-ish, so pretty good. Lots of like just tiny little edits, rephrasing things so that they're clearer.
Yeah.
Little line edity stuff at this point. I do have a couple of bigger things to consider, to try and bring in stronger throughout, but the start of this book is fairly tight. Like there's not big stuff to change at the start, it's later on. So I'm just getting started. I haven't been doing much the last few weeks, so I'm just at that standstill not standstill, but I'm trying to build up momentum so that by the time it gets to the holidays, so a week from now, I will be kind of into it and ready to make the most of the holidays.
Brilliant.
I always feel like I really have to force myself at this point in the term to like build up momentum so that when I get to the holidays, I can really use it. And it's always a bit of a, but it's worth it. Like it, really makes that holiday time really productive, and it doesn't feel like so much hard work during the holidays.
Yeah. That sounds really smart. I hope you can cultivate that momentum. Whisper Tune says, I'm poking around at a spicy side project, which I like that description. I'm going to start us off on our next 20-minute sprint, but I'm also going to use the start of the sprint to make myself a cup of coffee and grab some breakfast, because my stomach is telling me it's time.
Excellent. I've got my coffee here.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, I love that. Did you make that for your...
Yeah, I did. I made like half a dozen of them, and I've given away all the others. And it's got on the other side it was the icon, but it's not on the new books. It's just I was just playing with graphic design. But yeah, I think I've only got one of these cups, but I don't know if I would. I don't think I'd sell them. I don't know. I've never actually really pursued that whole merchandising side of things. Probably need to focus more on building up my readership before I can get any value out of it. So
I think, like, putting together all 4 of your books in that series with a mug and like some little chocolates or tea or fancy coffees and stuff, and making that a gift pack that people could enter
Oh
something
yeah,
to win.
totally. I'm working on the 5th book in the series, so I think, and then I don't have any more in the pipeline
Yeah.
at the moment. I kind of want to leave it so that there could be a 6th book, but I don't actually have it in me right now. Yeah, so maybe I'll revisit it. But I'm getting new covers designed. Well, I've got new covers designed for the first 4, so and the first book is getting re-released later this year, probably in a month or so. So that will be the time to start thinking about whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. My stomach is devouring itself, so 20 minutes starting now. Okay. That is the end of our third
Yes.
sprint.
Yeah, the third sprint.
But something happened outside. The dogs exploded into noise and activity and have only just settled down again.
Oh gosh.
When they exploded into noise, I had both of them beside me on the sofa, so it was like, holy, what is happening? We've also been joined by Em. Hi, Em. Hopefully, the signal is cooperating and you can hear this, but it is so cool to have you with us.
Hello.
But yeah, I've been multitasking. I am listening to the HB90 advice on goals, projects, and tasks, while also really breaking down what I want to do for Chloe next week, because that's something that's unrelated to goals and tasks. So I can kind of block out what time I'll need for that stuff, basically.
Nice. I think I've done another 12 pages of wee edits, and I did do another crumpet in there because, well, once you've opened the packet of crumpets, they don't get better with age. And
Yeah, I realized that having made my breakfast, I've completely neglected it. So I will get onto that in our next sprint.
Yeah, you gotta eat.
Yes. Shall we get back to work?
Sure. I think I've got one more sprint in my brain today, actually. I think I'll probably do one more and then I need to stop.
I feel like my brain is only just now waking up, which incidentally, I asked Jamie, we have almost run out of sprints, live streams that I have previously scheduled. So I asked Jamie how they felt about switching the start time to 9. And they've suggested that for the month of July, to tie in with Camp Nano, we do an experiment and kick off at 9.
Nice.
Em says lol crumpets. So it's really great to know we've got you with us, Em.
With butter and Marmite is my crumpet preference. I don't mind with a bit of cheese. Just butter, that's fine too.
I like butter. I am a sweet crumpet person, but I like my ultimate crumpet is butter and golden syrup, which is
classic,
that weird,
salty and sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suspect our American friends might be a bit baffled by the crumpet talk. I don't know. Is that a weird British thing? It's like a puppy pancake, but it's kind of all like bubbles on top, so it creates little pockets where the butter can kind of sink in. So when you bite into it, you get just like a mouthful of butter. It's so good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we lost Wicket. The quinoa took a awful revenge.
Oh.
But yeah. Let's jump into our next sprint. I feel a cough coming, so I will attempt to kick us off. 20 minutes starting now, and mute before the cough comes.
Good call on the strawberry jam, I will just say. Nice and tart as well.
that is the end of sprint number 4. The dogs are being unusually quiet and well behaved, which is lovely. I have set my goals for next quarter, and in my next sprint, I will start breaking those down into projects and tasks. How did you get on, Amy?
Good. I think made some decisions. Sometimes you just like, is it going to be 2 weeks or 3 weeks between, or such and such? And I'm like, doesn't matter. I just need to decide and be consistent. What am I up to? Page 47. So another 12 pages or so. But I started at page 1 today, so that's pretty good. And there are a few bits where when I was, marking it up, I wasn't in the right headspace to actually come up with a solution. I'd just be like, revisit. This bit doesn't flow. But all I've written is revisit, so I don't really know why, but it's probably a flow thing. Just doesn't sound right. So, yeah, they always take a bit longer. But I think it's better. I say without great certainty, but hope.
Springs eternal. Yeah. So I am really excited to, now that I've got my goals sort of tied down, I feel like I can actually do this.
Nice. That's important.
Yeah, so I'm really keen to jump into the next sprint, but you said that this was as much brain as you had for.
Yeah, I think so. I just have to be careful this point in the term, and I've got a big week coming up, that I don't push myself. I'm trying to push myself to go often little rather than lots.
That is so smart. Yeah.
Yeah. If I can do a little bit more often, I think that'll, especially I find like this, if I can do about 2 weeks of kind of daily-ish small increments, then after about 2 weeks, my pace picks up and it doesn't require that kind of forcing. Yeah. So that's my hope.
It sounds like a pretty good hope.
Just do a very, very small amount on the regular. But now that I've sort of made a dent, 47 pages, that's a pretty good dent. So, yeah, I'll probably head off. But thanks for having me.
It's been fantastic having you. Thank you for joining us. What are you going to do for the rest of the day? Are you going to read a book, take it easy?
I probably need to do some laundry. Exciting times. Yes. I need to do some laundry. There'll be school uniforms that need to wash. And it'll be great not to run out of underwear. It was a close call this week. And it's rainy, so we really need to be
on. So bad.
Yeah. Just grey. And then I wasn't very onto it with like when it wasn't raining to get the washing. Not that, I mean, we hang it out inside anyway this time of year, but probably play a board game. We've got, what's it called? Terraforming Mars, which is
that sounds
fun. But fun and very different kind of thinking to this. So that might be a good way to chill. Yeah, going to, and truly unlike me, I am going to go to a pub with friends for dinner tonight and watch the rugby is the plan, which is so not me. Like sports ball. Yeah. But I get to hang out with my friends, which will be fun.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm like very much to catch up.
There was one All Blacks game that, or possibly a Crusaders game. No, it would have been All Blacks because it was international. My stepdad got up super early to watch it in the morning as it aired.
Yeah.
And then my grandma joined him and he watched it again in the morning when it was like played for New Zealand audiences. And then they watched it again in the afternoon.
I'm like, these are not my people. I don't get it. Like, I mean, I'll be hanging out with friends who I don't see very often. So we'll just be catching up and chatting and it'll be on in the background, something to look at.
Yeah.
It is quite a long time since I've watched a game of rugby. Like, I don't mind. As far as watching sports go, rugby is, more entertaining than most. But just generally watching sports is not my jam. We have been, actually, Luke and I, my husband and I, have been watching Ted Lasso, the TV show.
Yeah.
And I think that's making me slightly more interested, which is nice. I like to be interested. Generally speaking, I think it's best to be interested in things. But I've never been much into sports, so I don't mind playing them. I just watching them, I'm like, doo-dee-doo. Anyhow,
Yep.
I'm going to go and leave you to your progress and your goal setting and all of that.
Yeah. So I'll say bye, Amy. And
Bye.
then I'll jump straight into our 5th sprint. 20 minutes starting now. Okay, that is. Oh dear, I've disturbed the dog. Sorry, Murphy. It's okay. And there's Murphy leaving us. What was I going to say? That was the end of our 5th sprint. I'm making really good progress, so I am inclined to just jump back in. I don't think anyone is with me on the chat, but if you are and do not want to immediately dive in, you have a very brief window of time in which to comment. Basically, having set my goals, I'm now sort of looking at the tasks that I identified that further that relate to my big picture goals, and I'm sorting out where they fit into my quarterly goals, if they fit. And I will use this in this final sprint to kind of narrow down my projects for next quarter. So yeah, it is the HB90 is quite an involved planning process, but every single time I've done this and I've been like, I don't need to do that, I'll just skip this step, I have found myself regretting it. So it's a really comprehensive goal setting methods, but it does help you get some really excellent clarity again about what you want to achieve and how much time you have and what's realistically possible. So let's get back to work. 20 minutes starting now. Okay, that is some remarkable timing. That is the end of our 6th sprint, and it is 11:59. So, although we got off to a very, very, very slow start, we did get all 6 of our aimed for sprints in. I've not finished my HB90 planning. So but I do need to end the stream. I've got to go get some groceries because I have no lunch if I don't have groceries, and yeah, a few other bits and pieces to pick up while I am at the store. So I will go and do those things. But it has been absolutely fantastic having your company today. It was great to see you, Wicked. It was awesome to have you pop in, M. For everyone watching this later, I'm sorry that I missed you, but it is awesome to have your company regardless. Hopefully you managed to get a lot done during this stream. Please leave a comment letting me know what you got up to, because Jamie and myself, we're always curious. We love to encourage and support other writers or other creatives. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow. I suspect it will just be me again. But yeah, please send Jamie your please send Jamie your best wishes for a speedy recovery, and enjoy the rest of your day. See you tomorrow. Bye.